now. I'm trying to take this bag off because I've had it off for like 3 hours and it's killing my shoulder. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. If this goes blank for like 2 seconds, just deal with me because I'm trying to take my. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. All right. All right. Whew. I was trying to take this bag off because I've had this bag off for like 3 hours and it's killing my shoulder. Give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna share this, and then we got a lot to talk about. One of the things, the top things I want to talk about tonight is not actually Diddy. I want to talk about more so what's going on in LA right now and across the country, including here in New York City, where we see some uprising or whatever. So I came up here as many times as I come up here because I'm, a citizen of New York City tri-state here. Um, I think for probably like the past 5 years, coming up here to Trump Tower, whatever, whatever. And every time I come up here, it's always been. Some people will take it as been pro-Trump, but really it's like pro-reality. You know what I mean? So I want to extend that hand. So listen, we got a problem right now that's stemming out of California, and it's ironic because we got a lot of California bloggers here right now down at the Diddy case, which I've been covering for 8 months. They all showed up here around about 2.5, 3 weeks ago now, from California down south, Atlanta. I ran into so many people from different places. Not all of them are bad people, but a lot of them have nefarious, insidious means. Let's put it that way. So, with that being said, I find it kind of funny because some of these same LA bloggers and California bloggers that are here right now, currently in New York, have yet to speak about anything that has to do with what's going on in LA right now. And I think that should be paramount to any conversation right now. My name is Davin, and reluctantly enough, I share the name with Gavin, which is Gavin Newsom. And Gavin Newsom, and I forgot what the female mayor is there. She's a whole work of art herself. Um, they say, let me put this more emphasis. Many of y'all know I always hold the military high. I come from a military background, multiple branches of the military, multiple generations. So I know when I see certain things or whatever, that you should be alert of, and things that you shouldn't be alert of. Let's make that clear. So one of the things that I saw that Gavin Newsom didn't take into consideration was, which I knew and most of the people here online knew, which was this. Once you get an advocacy going in one city, it quickly expands because now the advocacy is now promoted online. You understand what I'm saying? And I think Trump knew that based off of Truth Social. I think he knew that based off getting kicked off of Twitter before. I think he knew that from previously, but now anymore, partnered up with Elon Musk and a whole bunch of other things. So I say that it's safe to say that that's fair right there in that territory. If I had to make the decision, I would say, hey, it's quickly to realize that if you're looking at it from a perspective of that, you see quickly that it rose and it spread, just like a virus, just like a cold, just like anything else. And it did. It went from LA for the past 4 days, so now it's trickling out into these suburban cities and here in New York, and a couple other cities too that either plan to or planning to have their own ones. Now I want to say this. A lot of people are going to be shocked and amazed by what I say here, but I notice that it's a sentiment that not only myself, but many other people share. When I grew up here in the New York City tri-state, most of the Latinos that I grew up around were like Honduran, Dominican, Puerto Rican, who else can I say? Mexican. There was definitely some Mexicans already here, right? So we were already, how can I say, used to them. We grew up in the neighborhoods with them. We hung out with them. We drank with them. We smoked with them. We barbecued with them. Like, and tú sabes, la gente latino, tú sabes, la sabor. So like we always been there. What I started seeing was, and I started distinguishing, and I think a lot of other immigrants that are here in New York City or this New York City tri-state started to see with the new influx of immigrants that they had over the past 2 years, especially after the pandemic, which I've covered the Row Hotel. I covered, there was another one too. It was like 2 other ones. There was one they had a protest at, and I covered that one too. And I went there in solidarity, and then to come to find out, and it broke my heart, I went there in solidarity and then to find out when I went to this hotel, it was up in the 50s somewhere. I came to find that the reason that they were really protesting was because there was a new group of immigrants coming in and they would take the place of their hotel rooms. And I'm like, that's why y'all complaining? So the group of immigrants that you have coming here are different than the group of immigrants that you had 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 20, 25 years ago, or whatever, especially when it comes to populations. Many of these Latin American countries, I want you to understand this, many of these Latin American countries that these people are immigrating from, like Venezuela, Ecuador, places like that, they don't have a black population of Latinos, okay? So which means that like Colombia, Panama, Dominican Republic, what else could I mention? Cuba, definitely. Tú sabes, la gente de la Cubano, and la gente de la Honduras, like they have black populations, you understand? So sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes in these countries that are Latin American versus Hispanic, Latin American versus Hispanic Caribbean, it's a very big difference. They've never seen anybody that looks like me or you. And so what happens is they become very micro passive aggressive, you know. There's subtleties that show that, hey, I don't like you or whatever. But what I think white Americans started seeing was there were subtleties that showed that they didn't like you either. And that's the purpose of this conversation. Because listen, I hate to say it, but I don't get it when you can stand up and start throwing rocks off the top of a highway. You know how, let me tell you something. There were some kids, I forgot what year it was. They was throwing, it was three of them. They threw a rock off of a bridge or a passway or whatever, cracked the windshield of the car, and somebody died in there. They gave them kids, I think one of them 20 years or something like that. You understand? There's people out there right now in LA that throwing rocks. They knocking with a sledgehammer the corners of the rocks and stuff, picking them up from what Trump said. And I believe Trump on this one. I believe him on this one. See, if y'all don't understand, here, Gavin and that female mayor that was out there, I said lawyer. I'm so used to saying lawyer all the time. Him and that female, what's the name that was out there, what they did was they set up a condition, and the condition they set up was something that they didn't know. Once you start getting 5 or 6 clips in on social media, now everybody's talking about it. You see what I'm talking about? And so that's what happened. So now you got other cities that want to doppelgang what they saw previously in LA for the past couple of days. I'm not saying that the people of LA don't have a premise or, you know what I'm saying, or a situation where they can talk about it. I don't want to say that. Because there's so many people, even if you don't understand the dynamics, you know, whether it be religiously, culturally, or whatever, you understand the struggle. So I don't want to be the guy that sits here and says, hey, you know, whatever. But what I will say is if Trump's premise was, hey, we're going to go in and start getting all the violent people that are around the country, they come from these countries, and they come to invoke violence here, and they've demonstrated they're coming to invoke violence here, well, then I have to say, what kind of demonstration are you giving? Now, I'm going to get a little vulgar for a minute. Y'all going to get mad at me. Some of you. Some of y'all going to tune out. I don't blame you. I get it. But let me tell you something, right? And I know this very intimately. Yo soy la cubano, la moreno, la americano, tú sabes, claro, para la gente que sí. One thing I know, as being half black, is one thing I know is hanging out with black kids as I was growing up and everything that I know. You always have a pre-emphasis or assumption on African Americans or whatever, what they'll do. But what I saw from going through sociology in college and a whole bunch of other things was this. No matter what country you're in the world and they have a sense of poverty, you're going to have people that are rebelling. You understand what I'm saying? So whether you're in Prague, whether you're in Germany, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in India, where they have to haul in water because the water is so polluted there. Well, they never talk about that, do they? Or Bangladesh, where the water is so polluted there, they have to bring in water from outside outlets. Oh yes, this is a reality. I say that I don't think the best position for you to take is to start throwing rocks and setting fire to cars and spitting on police officers. Now, I'm gonna say this very vague, and some people ain't gonna like it. It doesn't matter. I worked for a record company for over 17 years. I wear it right here on my sleeve, as many of y'all know, and I'm very proud of that. I went subsequently through 3 different distributors, including Atlantic Records, BMG, where I started at, and Interscope Records. So don't talk to me about no motherfucking money. I know about money. I live in Connecticut. You understand? I understand the definition of money in a different way that you would never understand. So when I say this from this point. I think we have a lot of liberals. My state is very liberal. We have a bunch of liberals that lost their election and now want to come out and sympathize with certain motherfuckers that don't deserve no sympathy. So that's the problem with this country right now. We got too many motherfuckers that want to offer empathy where there don't need to be no empathy offered. Now, in the current state of the effeminate ways of men and women nowadays, what do you think would happen if we got invaded right now? You understand what I'm saying? And some people would call what's going on out there in California an invasion. I call it what it was going to be, and it always was going to be, which is you're going to have people that are going to feel entitled. They're going to feel entitled because of the pure simple fact we have 4 municipalities, including California, Colorado, Chicago, and New York, taken exclusively to spend billions. Yes, I did say billions, if not multi-millions over the past 3 or 4 years. But some people, they're a little fed up with it. Some people would give it the dynamic and call it fatigue. Depends on who you're talking to, right? Depends on who you're talking to. The reason I brought this up is, for all you California vloggers, some of you that brought a problem down there to the courthouse where the person I worked for 17 years, I don't even feel comfortable coming down there because it might lead into something where I get into embarrassment around 40 or so plus employees and police officers down there at that damn precinct that know me, and that courthouse that know me from covering Jonathan Major's case to covering this man right behind me on the monarchy here, Trump. I covered both of Trump's motherfucking, excuse my French, I covered both of Trump's shit, and I said the whole goddamn time, I said, this is a hooker. We talking about a hooker. I don't have sympathy for hookers. I love women. I got 2 women in my family, my sisters. But when it comes to hookers, prostitutes, and OnlyFans girls, my empathy is, well, subtle. Now, some people will say that the people that are rioting now in California, they have it right. Some people will say, and I'm going to say this to the New York City tri-state, all 3 of them. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. Some people will say, well, it's a little extreme for Trump to send all them troops in there or whatever. What I say to you is, when we got a punk ass, excuse my French, we got a punk pussy ass governor that can't figure out, or mayor, governor, whatever the fuck he is, he can't figure out that, hey, if you got a few people that have been riding for about 2 or 3 days, chances are it's going to get online in 2025. Chances are people are going to share what's going on in 2025, and then they're going to adopt the gang, everything that they see. And that's why we got people muttering around here in New York City and the New York City tri-state talking about, you know what, we've seen LA do it, we want to have a protest of our own. And to that I say, fuck you. What the fuck are we having protests for? Y'all give me 1 second, I'll drop my earphone. Somewhere. Oh man, I hate when I do that. Give me a second, guys. I dropped my earphone just a second ago, and I don't want to step on it because then it will be all over. Y'all give me 1 second. But my point is here, if you look at it, we can't not even afford to do it. Y'all guys, I know y'all looking at me like I look crazy right now, but I dropped my headphone and I don't know where it is. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm gonna turn on my flashlight so I can find my headphone real quick. I dropped my headphones somewhere. I hate wearing these headphones because The sound on them is great, but when I drop a headphone, it is done with. Because they're black, so I can't see it that good. Damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I dropped my headphone and I'm trying to look for it, and I don't really want to lose it right now. There it is. Boom. Found it, y'all. See what I'm saying? Like, they're black, so they're hard to find. Anyway, like I was saying, I don't think Trump's in the wrong any way whatsoever. And I think the way that people are trying to paint... Hold on one second, guys. Turn this flashlight off. I think the way that people are trying to paint Trump as being wrong for making the decision he makes, I think it's corny. You can hear me? Okay, cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, I dropped one of my headphones, but I found it. It's just that these damn things are black and they blend in with the concrete so good, but I try to wear them so you guys can hear me clear. So long as you guys can hear me. Guys, make sure you write in your thoughts on what you think about Trump sending all the Marines and everybody else into California. Especially specifically the 30-mile zone. I know that most of this started out in Paramount, California, if I'm correct, and now it's extended or whatever. So I thought I would bring it up because I find it funny that there's so many, with the exception of one. I saw one California blogger that's actually down there at the courthouse right now actually bring it up. But the rest of them that's down there, their epiphany of everything is getting involved in New York business. I'm asking the question, how come you're not talking about what's happening back home for many of you? That's a fair question, right? How come you're not talking about what's happening in your hometown? What's happening in your hometown is they're tearing the place up. They're setting cars on fire. They're throwing rocks off the bridge. They don't care. Kids are in the car. They don't care nothing, All this because they say, you know what, we're not going back. When I say, fuck you, that's what I say. I say, when you get to the point where you're throwing rocks off a bridge and you're putting people's lives in danger or whatever because of your fucking rights, fuck you. There's people that's been in this country a lot longer. This is going to sound like an asshole statement. But there's people that's been in this country a lot longer, contributed to this country, that deserve a lot more. You understand? Everything that you got was a fucking privilege. That money that was supposed to be used and allocated for people to get out of COVID was actually used for the hotel rooms here in New York City. Many people know that. Yeah, they won't tell you that. Many people, they won't tell you that, but you go back and you look at the surplus for the end of the year, you'll quickly find out everything I'm telling you is the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. That was under, what's this fucker's name? De Blasio and all them before he got out of there. Oh, God, if you remember that guy, he was a fucking wreck. His wife turned out to be a lesbian, don't you know? I can't make this up. His wife turned out to be a lesbian. I can't make this up. He was a politician. Great guy. I can't speak bad about him. What you saying? We can hear you. What's going on, JF? What's poppin'? Guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to share this. I want to get into some other things, too. Y'all like to use PayPal, but PayPal's messed up for me right now. I don't know what it is. Y'all like to use PayPal, but PayPal's messed up for me right now. I don't know what it is. Anyway, let me continue what I was going on, because I want to also talk about Harvey Weinstein. Something that's ironic that Elon Musk said. He said, yeah, that, and I don't know how true the beef is with them two. It could be orchestrated. I don't know. You know what I mean? I worked in the music industry for fucking 17 years. I don't believe everything that I see on media. Definitely not. And it means that it's not contrived and it's not purposeful. Let's say this, right? Let's say that Elon Musk, he said what he said. I heard what Steve Brandon said today. Brandon, you got caught out there in my state, Connecticut, but they can't pick you up. Shout out to him, though, because I like he's a straight shooter and he talks straight. I like men like that. I think the world is missing men like that, that talk like that or whatever. That's the type of men I grew up around. So, Steve Brandon said today, he said that, Elon Musk is on ketamine. And that's funny, because that's the same thing they were saying that Pump was on. Well, we know Pump was on, right? I didn't know it. Many other people didn't know it that worked with us, but kind of find out Pump was on ketamine as well as Elon Musk. And I remember a particular meeting that Elon Musk had with not only Puff but also Rick Ross. Y'all remember that meeting? Was y'all doing ketamine then together? I gotta know. Y'all think I'm gonna take it light on Puff because I worked for Puff for 17 years, and I think that's the most misconstrued thing that could possibly happen. One thing that I did see and one thing that I did cover, and I'll bring it up again, I think it's quite funny that we have Puff and we have Harvey Weinstein going to court at the same time, and it's seemingly enough that Puff is taking over the headlines underneath Harvey Weinstein. But let me update you on something from Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was already convicted in LA, incidentally enough. Not only that, but the only reason that Harvey Weinstein is on retrial here in New York City is because of a technicality. The same technicality that he's trying to take advantage of right now. Now, y'all ready for this? Now, I say this under the guise there was actually at one point, there was 2 or 3 videos that were up online here on YouTube with Harvey Weinstein approaching women, trying to get them in certain positions or whatever in hotel rooms. It was 3 videos, and somehow or another, YouTube took them down. But if you've seen the videos, you've seen the videos. If you you've been here like I've been here. I've been here for 6 years now. You know, so I'm no stranger to this. Harvey Weinstein and Puffy is 2 different things. They're very much 2 different things. Puffy didn't have the power. He had the money, but he didn't have the power that Harvey Weinstein did. And one of the things that I think you niggas, and I'm going to say it just like that, one of the things that I hold like against most of y'all motherfuckers is some of y'all have come from out of state, right? Some of y'all come from California. Some of y'all come from Florida. Some of y'all come from Atlanta. Y'all all down there at the courtroom, right? But at that same vicinity, we got Harvey Weinstein down there. And then I heard the other day Elon Musk bring up, well, you know, Trump was on the Epstein list or whatever. Motherfucker, we all know Trump was friends with Epstein. His pictures have been online for fucking 17 years. What the fuck? You act like that blew it. What you better be concerned about is this motherfucker that said the other day, we gonna halt up the production of them bullshit ass Jeeps you got putting out. What was this called? The fucking the $100,000. I'd rather buy a Lambo. What the fuck are those things called? You know what I'm talking about. This shit that looks like a fucking slant, like a big ass square riding through the street. What the hell are those Jeeps called? Somebody know the name of it, let me know. You know what I'm talking about, the Elon Musk makes right there. I heard the fuckers, they freeze up. They cutting off. You better not be under 20 degrees outside. You ain't gonna start up. Who the fuck wants a car like that that's worth $100,000? I've been around multi-millionaires working in the music business since I was 20 going on 21, right? I done seen motherfuckers go through Lamborghinis, Maseratis, Porsche, everything, right? Them bullshit ass cars that I seen. What are those Jeeps called? Anybody know what the name of those Jeeps are? Tell me in the chat room. Those fucking Jeep trucks or whatever that Elon Musk makes. I didn't see the reviews on those shits. If you get the 2nd or the 3rd iteration of them, you might be alright. But for right now, them shit, that's a $100,000 fucking limit. And everybody knows it. You know, it ain't no secret. They say if you get under 20 degrees, you're fucked up. That's what they said. They said if it's under 20 degrees out there, they said that the goddamn wiring and all that or whatever, they give you instructions through the system that they got inside the goddamn vehicle. And they'll tell you, yo, it's too cold. Right now, you need to warm up at least 10 to 15 degrees to charge your vehicle, your electronic vehicle that ain't worth shit, but supposed to be worth shit in the fucking snow. So I get where Trump is coming from. I get where Trump is coming from when he talks about certain situations like this with Elon Musk or whatever. I don't know how true their beef is or whatever, but I just seen Trump fire off on 2 motherfuckers and it ain't even Wednesday yet. He went after Elon Musk and he went and set fire in Gavin Newsom's motherfucking sphincter, which he should have. Fuck both of them. Both of them are sitting around and you motherfuckers are like, especially, I'm not, even Elon Musk, I'm cool with. But listen, fucking Gavin Newsom, that was just retarded. Then you made it a fucking battle. And now Not even a day later, you're seeing multiple cities throughout the United States doppelganger, same exact behavior that's going on in your city. And you're like, well, I don't know what happened. You got that loudmouth ass broad. Listen, whoever the fuck that broad is, it's the mayor of LA or whatever the fuck, get rid of her. Whatever y'all do, don't invite that bitch back to the ballot. Excuse my French. Don't invite that bitch back. She is a fucking retard. I'm like, these are people that they don't know either. You're too out of tap to know how social media works, or either two, you're just fucking dumb. You understand what I'm saying? Because as much as you say, oh, well, it's not a problem, it's not a big problem, whatever, whatever. Bitch, there's motherfuckers knocking concrete underground with sledgehammers and hashing them out to people to throw them off the bridge at cops. They're lighting cars on fire. What the fuck you mean you ain't got a problem? It's a peaceful and for what's her name? Koala Bear, whatever the fuck that bitch name is. I can't stand her. I ain't never liked her. I ain't like her for the fact when she sat around, she tried to tell everybody she was a black woman and everybody. And Trump is goddamn something. He said when I met her, she was an Indian woman. That's what he said. Shit, I don't know. Y'all know I come up here and talk about shit, but I try to be as honest as I fucking can. Because I'm one of the last guys I feel on social media. I've had people say this to me before that gives a shit about the New York City tri-state, and I do. I don't like all these people coming here from fucking all these Midwestern cities and all these West Coast cities and everything. A lot of them are trying to escape California because of shit now. And they don't want to tell you that. California's shit now. They got 10 cities. You go up the goddamn sidewalk. They got 15 motherfuckers living on there in tents. They coming in there bulldozing tent cities off the sidewalk and flush. And listen, you don't know California. My sister lives out in Modesto, 909. I know that area out there, outside of Oakland. I know the 30-mile zone. I've been out there before. I rode the red line, all that shit. That place is shit. It is. And the politics there is shit. They've been shit. They've been under the same liberal guys as my state in Connecticut. But the only thing is, Connecticut, when we have our liberals take the task to do certain shit. Y'all liberals just sit around and seem like just look for handouts. Like I heard Trump earlier today. You think I missed some shit? I heard Trump earlier today say, well, we've been giving these motherfuckers money for I don't know how many years now for forest fires. But the fire's still raging. Ain't that some shit? Let's take it back a few more years before that. Kamala Harris had the same issue. It was fucking forest fires burning. When the fuck are the forest fires not burning in California? Huh? Yeah, now y'all dizzy. I get you. Some of y'all gonna say the same rhetoric that you always say. Oh, well, you just backing Trump, da 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 da. He's from New York. Fuck you. I get a lot of people that are in here and they ain't from the New York City tri-state. You try to tell us how to feel. The same thing with a lot of these fuckers that are from California and every fucking where else that are down at the courtroom. And they wasn't there 8 months ago for this pub trial that I've been covering. You know, when I get these fuckers down there, excuse my French, I just gotta say it. Some of you motherfuckers are some of the lamest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. Because, see, you gotta take in perspective this, right? They can't make it in California, you know, California, Hollywood. They can't make it in there, so they come up here and they try to poke out their chest or whatever. And so many of you scary motherfuckers here in New York nowadays don't want to say nothing to them. Breaking my fucking heart. What do you say here? Magic Man said, AM, I appreciate you. Thank you, Jalen. Appreciate you putting my Cash App in there. Yeah, guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, man. $STRINGERBELL80. Also, down below, you'll find a whole bunch of products that you can purchase. I get a small commission off that. Also, make sure y'all hit that like button. More importantly than anything, that gets me out in the algorithm, spread out to everybody. Y'all know how I go. Every 7 times I get on here, I'll have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 views before I stop. And then some lives I'll have less than that. You know, it is what it is. But we got to talk about what it is, man. We got a problem. And we got a whole bunch of sympathetic motherfuckers from the former Biden woke era that want to continue their motherfucking devastation. What we need to do is start turning up on these woke motherfuckers. I know it's been a long time coming, but that's what we need to do. Now I'm not here to say that you can't have your liberal thoughts or whatever. But if you black or Latino, let's look at the motherfucking board. That's all I'm saying. No. But more importantly enough is this. We need to get some of these woke motherfuckers out the way. They continue in an attitude, they continue in a tradition that's formerly of the Biden era, and the Biden era ain't here no more. You understand what I'm saying? Fuck Joe Biden. I hope he gets well, but fuck him. His politics sucked. And it led us to spending money that was meant for Americans. Let me tell you something, right? Let me put it in perspective for you. I was in New York for 3.5 years before the pandemic started, all right? I moved down here from New York. From Connecticut. And when I was in New York, I had some of the best times of my life. And now that I reflect on it, I'm like, I was one of the people that lived the last days of what formerly what New York was really about, which was fun, all right? So now we fast forward, the pandemic's over, everything like that, and there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars is allocated to New York State, not just New York City, New York State, and it's given by the federal government. And that federal government money is supposed to be given to, hope soften some of the fall that happened during the pandemic. Instead of that money, went to funding a lot of motherfuckers that on any given day, if they weren't under the same circumstances, would probably come close to spitting on you. You understand? They wasn't appreciative. And so the problem is, I remember out in my state when I returned back to Connecticut, there were so many businesses and bars and things like that were mom and pop shops that were fucking closed because of that same shit. They didn't get that money. That's why I talk so much about this shit. Because I know some people that worked hard. I know one bar that we went to that bar, probably 15 years. That bar probably been there for 40 fucking years. And all of a sudden, pandemic hit and the motherfucker shut down. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of that money was supposed to be allocated, if you don't understand, for small businesses and shit. Instead, got deferred into taking care of hotels and bringing motherfuckers food camp coupons and shit like that. Shit that we weren't even doing for Americans. You understand? So when I talk about this shit, please don't make me a novice. Please remember, I was the one that covered the Row Hotel. I told y'all back then, that was 2.5 years ago. I said, yo, the money gonna run out. And what happened? The money ran out. Erotic, isn't it? Now, moving on to Puff, my former fucking boss. And I wore this jacket for a reason tonight. Many of y'all know I do that because of pure simple fact. I still got some faith in this fuck face. That he'll something about this ain't wrong. Now, I don't think he's guilty of RICO or everything like that. I've listened now to several different prosecutors from multiple states, but former prosecutors specifically in federal, and two of them specifically here in the Southern District, and one is also fought in the Southern District and the Eastern District both. So I listen to these guys because shout out to L Boogie. I'm gonna call him L Boogie. L Boogie with the glasses. He know what I'm talking about. He follow me and I follow him now. But this particular gentleman, or the older elk, I like talking to the OGs. Like an OG to me is like a motherfucker that's like 65 and over. That's who I can learn something from. You understand? So I always sit down with the old folks, including my uncle. Y'all seen him on camera with me before. And talk about the old days, because there might be some shit in there that I could skip. You know what I mean? And that's why I try to deliver to you guys too, some shit that you can skip. But one of the things I can't skip, unfortunately enough, is some of the behavior that Puff had. You know? And a lot of people, they hold me a little bit higher accord when it comes to discussing him. But today, or what was it, day 19, day 20, whatever, they asked me how I felt about hearing some of the testimony. And I said, and I'll say it again, I remember when I was covering the Trump trial. And I never did. And I said, well, this is a hooker. This is a hooker. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is a well-paid hooker, but this is a horse-faced hooker. She look like a horse in the face. She do. She look like a horse. You know who else look like a horse like that? Sarah Jessica Parker. She look like a horse in the face too. Listen, listen. I grew up around Italians and Greeks. Many of y'all know, and I had them on my camera with me or whatever. These are my friends. Last name Bachman, Papadonasio. I lived the majority of my life out in Connecticut, right? So no offense, I know an ugly ass white woman when I see one. That's an ugly ass white woman. This same thing I say about an ugly black white folks would say that's an ugly white woman. And I'm sorry, Stormy Daniels was an ugly ass white woman. She was horse faced. If you say Stormy Daniels was a hot chick, you was hard up and just got out of prison. Or a bad relationship or a divorce. As soon as I said, this is the chick they want Trump to pay $200,000 to and mad about he paid it to. I would have wanted to get rid of that motherfucker too, Trump. Shit. Looking like a horse. Come here, Wilbur. I'm about to ride. I need a mount to throw that saddle on that ugly ass. That's an ugly motherfucker right there, Stormy Daniels. God damn. You ever see the picture of it? Go Google it right now. Stormy Daniels. You'll be scared like a motherfucker. You'll be like, God damn, I'm going to dream about this ugly bitch for the rest of the night. And they had Trump up in court for this horse-faced bitch. Whole time I was down there, it was people that was coming down there to the courthouse, was out there riding, well not riding, but trying to start fights and shit like that and arguing with people. Our coordinator came out and throw the clips of you. I just go on my live section and just go through there and go through my video section. You'll see them there. Or just put in my name and put in Trump behind it. Trump Tower or Trump Hearing, either or, they can come up for the past 6 years. So when I see a motherfucker, I'm sorry, I gotta say it like this. When I see a motherfucker sit around and ignore what's going on with Harvey Weinstein and the fact that Harvey Weinstein also filed for a mistrial, but the motherfucker's already sentenced doing 20 years in California. At this rate, let me put it to you this way. If Harvey Weinstein get one more conviction after this one, if this one is a conviction, this motherfucker gonna have to die 2 times and come back to still serve some time. I said, God damn. You know, that's some deep shit when you got, listen, you would have to, Harvey Weinstein, if he got, listen, he's 73, I think. He's sentenced to 20 years already in California, so he got to complete that bid. I think out of that bid, he got to do like 12 years or something like that, right? It might be mistaken, maybe more or less. All right, if he gets convicted here in New York and they give him 20 years, now he's got to do an additional 12, 13, 14 fucking years, right? All right, and say he gets convicted one more time at 73. That means this motherfucker would have to die, come back, and he still got some time to do. That's some cold shit right there. Imagine getting sentenced to so much time that you gotta die and come back to finish time. I know y'all ain't thinking like that. But that's the position Harvey Weinstein is in. And so, the same way they talk about Puff and the situation he's in, I've heard less and less people talk about Harvey Weinstein, and this motherfucker was truly a monster. He was a monster. I think if Trump was standing downstairs with me right now, side to side, he'd tell you the same goddamn thing. Harvey Weinstein was a monster. Now, many of y'all know I started out and I promoted Revolt TV when it was a fucking idea. It was in its genesis. And I'm sad to see Puff lose that because of the allegations and everything going on with him. But let me tell you one thing that I did learn, and that's why it was so easy for me to launch from being an artist and to segue into being a YouTube personality out of the blue. And one of those things was this. I know what to expect when I see certain people get attention. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So there's certain people, right? And I know this specifically for the music industry. We used to always run into this problem with new artists. New artists, you have to realize, they, especially the ones that got picked up early. So like say they're traveling on one song, right? So that one song is popping or whatever the case may be. And the combination of, I don't know, audience that they hit, maybe might be under 10,000, under 15,000, whatever the case may be, right? Low numbers. According to like a arena that can carry 40,000, 100,000, 120,000, small beans. This is why you see Beyonce make multi-millions, because she's covering arenas like that. I know the scope of it. Anything under 10,000, 5,000, you're bringing in maybe 100,000, $200,000. All right, we're not talking about the fucking victory tour with Michael Jackson. All right, you get me? So, with that being said, a lot of these personalities and artists are looking for alternative motives to make money. And what you do is you'll find a lot of these motherfuckers sitting online talking to whoever for $2,000, $3,000 crumbs, change. Crumbs and change. And what they've done is, and what's unbeknownst to the courtroom, hold on one second, y'all. And what I was trying to point out, and I'm going to say this with not just any particular bloggers, but with bloggers I find specifically from California right now, with the exception of two of them. What I find is these guys, they have come here and they try to become personalities within the case itself. But when it comes to Harvey Weinstein, they have been silent. The only reason they're trying to attach themselves, in my personal opinion, to Diddy and everything that's going on with Puff, and inclusive sitting in the courtroom, which I refuse to do because I didn't want to see Puff like that. And I know that sounds soft or whatever, but I don't care. I didn't want to see him like that. You know? What it comes apparent to me is these bloggers, they're going to be here. When the case is over, they're going to leave here. And they're not going to care anything about New York City. You understand me? And then what will happen is their personalities online will build. A lot of people will stop coming to watch them because of the pure simple fact that they're not covering the trial anymore. And whatever is to conclude of Diddy, whether it's a mistrial or whatever the case may be, they will conclude it. But what I want to stand paramount out of the conversation, if anything, no matter what position you fall in, and what I found is there's a lot of misandrists down at that courtroom. There's a lot of LGBTQ men that by default have to support these feminists, toxic feminists. Those same toxic feminists I saw down at the Trump trial. Those same toxic feminists I saw down at the Trump trial, and they were defending a hooker. A hooker. She sold a J. Please pay attention to what I'm saying. I saw these same broads at the Luigi Mangione hearing. There were girls down there at the Luigi Mangione hearing. Y'all saw the one I put the clip up. Shorty was like, well, you know, his civil rights were violated and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I wonder, it's so hard looking at her and say, bitch, I was there the day that he did this shit. And I was down there with CNN, and y'all saw the guys on my camera. I was down there with the guys from CNN and the other guys down there from NBC, and they were covering it too. They was like, yo, do you think this is the area that happened? I said, yeah, guess the area that happened. Because I saw it on the TV, and I said it could only be from this end because I saw the adjacent hotel that was across the street. There's a little partition right there, and there's a building right there up on the 50s. Not too far from where I'm at right now. And to be quite honest with you, not too far at all where I'm at right now. So when I saw this, and I saw those girls down there, inclusive of 3 black American women that were down there, and they were like, yay, yay, Luigi Mangione's innocent or whatever. And I had to think to myself, and I said, well, bitch, we saw this motherfucker on prime time in 4K internationally. Fuck the United States. Internationally, we saw Luigi Mangione shoot and kill a motherfucker like a coward he was and take that man from his family. Punk motherfucker. And I'll keep saying that shit. That's a punk bitch ass motherfucker. Any man that come behind you and shoot you and don't even give you time to defend yourself, you a bitch. And I saw men and women down there, inclusive of 2, not 1, but 2 trucks that ran around and kept going wrapping around down there at the federal courthouse or whatever when this motherfucker was in court. And I had never seen nothing like that in my life. I didn't see nothing. I saw something similar, kind of like that for Trump. But it wasn't Trump's innocent. They was riding down there. It was like, this nigga, if he beat this shit, he gonna be running for president. Y'all get prepared. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? So it was a totally different action and feeling down there. There was girls down there, if you're not familiar with it, I have it on camera. There was girls and men down there dressed in Luigi from Luigi and Mario, Luigi costumes in support of Luigi Margione. We all saw this motherfucker shoot and kill somebody. They should have brought the electric chair down there to Pennsylvania where they caught him, don't you know? That's what they should have done. Some motherfuckers, listen, listen, if you fuck with kids, you to rape a couple women or something like that, you a mass murderer, you will walk into a business, shoot everybody, whatever. I think, honestly and truthfully, like, you should just shoot them motherfuckers on sight. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just good goddamn police work. Sometimes it's just good goddamn police work. Those are lowest of the fucking kid that's sitting on the corner selling crack. Fucking kid you catch a pistol. The most worst motherfuckers out there, and if they go to prison, you'll get it proven to you. It's a motherfucker that fucked with kids, a motherfucker took advantage of a woman. You don't believe me? Watch how the prison deal with them. You don't believe me? Watch how the prison do. Go to prison and say you fucked with some kids, and then go to prison and say, well, I shot 2 or 3 motherfuckers at the club because the nigga was looking at me funny. And see who they respect. See who they respect. So when we get people like Harvey Weinstein that filed for a mistrial, and we got all these African Americans and Latinos down there at the courthouse down there because of the pure simple fact that they see a couple superstars, and most of these motherfuckers, especially the ones that came from out of town, California, Atlanta, and all these places, they came here, they spending all their money here in New York City because they want to get a piece of having, I don't know, 100,000 followers or something. I did that shit 6 years ago. I got 4 videos on my page here that got over 1 million hits. That's not how you got to do it. And I need to know, where's the enthusiasm for Harvey Weinstein? Nobody's got an answer, huh? Of course. Anyway, listen, guys, let me get up out of here. I want to talk that little piece right there. I'm going to do a larger live, of course, as I always do. I know this is impromptu. That's why I don't have as many people. Usually I have at least 200 people in the goddamn chat room when I'm talking about Puff. But I really want to talk about this, and I want to come up here and talk about this on site. And I want to say one other thing, too, Trump. Fuck what a motherfucker think. You from Queens, all right? Fuck what a motherfucker think. I saw you've been handing out some pardons or whatever. And from what I've accumulated so far, aside from the 2 attempts now with a mistrial, so we're talking about mistrials, the 2 attempts right now, the mistrial by Diddy, and I'm seeing now the attempt at a mistrial by, in the same week, which is ironic, from Harvey Weinstein, which Harvey Weinstein is such a small thing because they're deliberating right now. And they're arguing, having little skirmishes and stuff like that from what they're being reported. And part of the deliberations about Harvey. I'm going to say for the bottom of my heart, and I always have this token to say when I run into a racist, specifically if it's a white man, because I grew up so long here in Connecticut, and I grew up around great Italian people, great Greek people, and some Jewish folks, and Portuguese, and Cape Verde. Let me tell you from the bottom of my heart, fuck Harvey Weinstein. May that motherfucker burn and piss. Fuck him. Listen, a pedophile and an SA and whatever, I'm using acronyms here, but all these people that fall into this category, they motherfuckers are one and the same. It doesn't matter what color they are. They all one and the same. You understand what I'm saying? They have a fetish that most men don't have a fetish for. See, most men know, I don't give a fuck how cute she is. That bitch is 16, excuse my French. That little girl's 16 years old. I can tell, goddamn it, right now, because she's skipping as she rolled past me. I don't give a fuck how bad you want an actress or upcoming actress, Harvey Weinstein. You get in and you put your money down like the rest of us do. That's what you do. You could have led with your money. You want to lead with force. That's the point. This motherfucker was a multi-millionaire. Only thing you had to do with most of them girls be like, look here, you lay down with me, I give you $2 million and a roll. You wasn't keeping it pimping. You was keeping it I don't know, borderline Jack the Ripper. That's what he did. He sought after, creeped up on. I don't like motherfuckers like that. I don't like motherfuckers. I'm sorry, I keep cursing and everything, but I don't like motherfuckers like that. And that's the same thing I said about Puff. So far, what we got out of Puff is Puff did a whole bunch of and I equated it yesterday, and I'll say it again. If you go on the website right now, seeking arrangements, you go on the website right now, sugar babies or whatever, the same arrangement is the same things they accuse of Puff of so thus far, because we still got some weeks to go. Have all been domestic and sexual deviancy. You understand what I'm saying? And I equated it to those two websites because I said these two websites, both of them, they got to pay taxes. And they're facilitating the same thing. Even the same things come up that were mentioned in the trial and the testimony. You know, he wanted control. Well, they say it's one of their pledges on the page, and I read that out to y'all yesterday. Well, you know, you're in control over here, sugar babies. Pick any whore you want to. You're all right. That's what they said. That's what they say on the page. I'm not making this up. That's what they say on the page. So I say to you, Trump, if it comes up to you, and no more has been divulged, and you get the conclusion of this case, and they happen to get him on something small or a technicality or whatever, I want you to use your power to do so if you can. And definitely elect for Puff to get a fucking recall here, and definitely get something that I think he might possibly deserve, which is a pardon. I really think so. I really think if Harvey Weinstein, that disgusting, nasty, sloppy, 12 sandwich looking Pizza the Hut shaped ass motherfucker. You ever seen those videos on YouTube before they took him down? Oh, this was a nasty motherfucker. There's one video where that's the girl, the first girl to record him, and she's got the white purse and the short black hair. I forgot what her name is. I think her name might be Mia or something like that too. But she starts recording him, and he comes out, and at that point, this motherfucker's got a towel wrapped around him, big ass pork belly hanging out. And listen, old men, let me talk to y'all real quick. I'm an older motherfucker now too, but I ain't old as most of y'all. The key to keep on getting good vajay as you get older is hitting the gym. That's the best I can put it to you. The key to getting young vajay is hitting the gym. If you ain't hitting the gym, you ain't gonna get no younger vajay. Now, I'm not talking about extremely younger vajay, but I'm talking about 10 to 15 years younger than you. It might work out for you a little bit better if you hit the gym. Just hit the gym. This fat motherfucker came out looking like Pizza the Hut with a towel around him, talking about, just come in the bathroom. Just come in the bathroom. If I was a girl, I would have been scared to go in there too. I'd be like, oh no, Pizza the Hut don't get me. Get in my belly. Big Pizza Hut looking motherfucker. The shit that Cassie and those girls were doing, they were doing for the bread. Alright? The stuff that those girls were forced to do by Harvey Weinstein, the stuff that those girls were forced, don't do that. The girls that were forced to do the boys that were forced to do what they do from the guy from Abercrombie and Fitch, that guy who's on house arrest right now. I can't even believe it. I think he's out there in Staten Island. The shit that those four brothers did here in New York City, and they got arrested down there in fucking Miami, and they got to go through their Miami charges when they come back to New York. Oh, we got a lot of other motherfuckers to point the finger at. But we point our finger so much at Puff because of his superstardom. And I'm not saying that the son of a bitch is right. I can't back up you beating a chick like a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, all men that got into it with the girl or whatever before, whatever, you know, you might have to yank your girl up, whatever. All right, that's a goddamn enough. You know what I'm saying? Police get called on you, whatever. Go to court for like 2-3 weeks. Judge usually say, all right, get the fuck up on out of here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all cut this shit out. I see y'all in here again. It's going to be war, you know what I mean? But the shit I saw in that video, this nigga was kicking the bitch. Excuse my friend, I don't mean it like that, but you was kicking her like a man. And then subsequently, you got other chicks, they come in and they say, and they might be lying, they might be telling the truth. I got to put a halt on some of them because two of them we caught was lying or at least exaggerating the truth to the point where they try to base that on a mistrial. This is past Saturday they filed it. Now today, it got overridden. We didn't see that. But as you have your conversations tonight, tomorrow, and on about Diddy filing for a mistrial, please make sure you put your emphasis in this motherfucking nasty son of a bitch, Harvey Weinstein, that 12 sandwich triple chin motherfucker. I don't like, you know why I like him as much? Because he looked like the classic, like, creep. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all ever seen that movie, Constantine? You ever seen Constantine? You remember in Constantine, there was that one motherfucker that could talk to the beetles and all that shit, talk to the bugs. He kind of reminded me of him. I just said, I don't know, he just looked creepy. You understand what I'm saying? That's all. He just looked creepy. What y'all saying in here? New people wear anything on God. That's what's up. Diddy Lair. I don't know what that means. Jackson Hugh. Yo, fam, what happened to your grill? Oh, God, yeah, we got Corny in here. My fault. Let me get him up out of here. I got you, y'all. That's one of them key, man. What's going on, Memphis Maniac? Appreciate you. Yeah, the Cybertruck, Jalen. That's what I was talking about. I couldn't call it. I'm like Aaliyah. We need a resolution because this thing is getting out of hand. Yeah, I mean, like me personally, I stopped going down there covering the trial, even though I've been doing it for like 8 months. And the reason I did it was I didn't want to sully my name with the people I made friends. You know, I got friends at Fox. I got friends at CBS and multiple other different outlets now based on the fact that when I started out covering Jonathan Major's trial, and it was a different environment then. It wasn't people down there arguing and yelling with each other and everything like that because of their personal views based on they want empathy or victimhood placed upon them based on the fact that they're gender. You understand? And like I said, that victim shit is like really getting out of line nowadays. Like, listen, man, when I was growing up, you had to fight a motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, you know? Black, white, polka dot, pink, it doesn't matter. When I was growing up, you had to fight a motherfucker. And like, the way my mom and dad was, did he whoop your ass? Yeah. Take your ass back on out there, son. You know? And that's what it was. And, you know, I know some guys, they didn't grow up like that or whatever. But I think it's a values that instilled in you that make you not take shit on people. You know what I mean? And you got to know how to calm down that or whatever. Give me a second, guys. You got to know how to cultivate that and circumnavigate that to make it work for you, however your individual way is. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I call shit the way I see it. I don't do this whole animated voices and animated personalities, you know what I mean? I think people here in the New York City tri-state, they seem to subsequently like the way I talk. They like the way I speak for them or whatever, and I'm going to continue to fucking do that as long as I have the privilege of being on this mic and getting these hundreds of thousands of views a month and shit. YouTube, y'all need to pick up the money here too, because these motherfuckers be paying us crumbs and nickels. For real. Rags and tablets. You understand? So y'all make sure y'all hit the cash app. It's right down below under Javon's name, $STRINGERBELL80. If not, make sure y'all go purchase some of those products. That makes you feel better. I get a small commission off that, so make sure y'all subscribe to that. And also make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Where do I go? Put your same emphasis that you have in the pub, put it into Harvey Weinstein. As far as how I feel about the LA riots or whatever you want to call it at this point going on, I think it's a travesty. I think it's disgusting. I think it needs to stop. You know what I mean? And let me tell y'all folks something. A lot of y'all jumping online in your liberal fashion trying to defend that shit. Don't defend that shit. Don't defend that shit at all. Let me tell you something, right? There are And I will not deny that there are bad police officers. You understand what I'm saying? But all of them ain't bad. And sometimes, like I say, I was trying to see who the hell that was playing music. I was trying my best to see who that was playing music. That music came out of nowhere, right? The best thing I would tell y'all is this. Don't. Whatever you possibly do, don't start siding with people when it comes to these riots and everything like that that's happening out in LA. Do not do it. What it's going to do is going to put you in a bind where you have people that normally wouldn't take up for you. If you follow what I'm saying. People that normally wouldn't take up for you, now feeling they're entitled even more. Let Trump do what the hell he's doing. Let Trump send in the National Guard, the Marines, whoever. I don't give a fuck. I'm not standing up because I'm trying to tell you, if some niggas did that, we'd be in trouble. You understand? And that's what I want police officers to start paying attention to. Like, even though I have that mantra, sometimes it's good goddamn police work. Y'all done see me up here. There's been 40 police up here that day after the insurrection or whatever that shit was. There was like 40 police officers up here. I was in the sea of all of them. And probably at least, I don't know, 15 of them knew who the fuck I was. So, you know, I don't never really have no problems with police like that. But, you know what I mean? Y'all need to start, as police officers, y'all need to start taking in the vein that every motherfucker that poses a problem don't look like you got brown skin. There are a lot of motherfuckers out here with white skin that pose even a more threat than any of these niggas were. The average nigga, you got, like, he going to shoot or shoot at the motherfucker he don't like. What I find with a lot of white men, especially when you get the term white male mass shooter, these motherfuckers mad at one motherfucker, they gonna shoot up 17 people at the job. They'll shoot up 17 motherfuckers at the job because they mad at one motherfucker. You understand? So we gotta get ourselves together as a society. That's for one, as far as these extremities that's pointing out when people get upset or whatever. And the same thing falls in line for girls and guys down there, the Diddy trial, which I'll be back there in a minute, you know what I mean? But I just want to throw that at least out there, whatever. Every now and then I like to do vlogs. I ain't just digging deep or whatever, just talk surface. And the surface of it all is everything that I mentioned there, you know? You got Harvey Weinstein to file for a mistrial, but y'all mad at Puff to file for a mistrial. Make it make sense. Guys, my name is David Lewis. If it's your first time here, make sure you share, subscribe, like. Also, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App or whatever. I want to make this a real brief. I didn't want to make, you know, a real long deal of it or whatever. Trump, send the motherfucking guards in there. Fuck them. Shit, y'all talk all that shit about Trump. Trump one of the last motherfuckers you're gonna see ever from last period, I mean the 90s, that have the same gumption and shit like that of men of past. There ain't many men like that, but it ain't lasting anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's why I heard Brandon in there today. Steve Brandon, he was like, fuck him. So shout out to Steve Brandon. You know what I mean? I like that man. He played spoken like I am. I heard Trump, when he ain't on the mic, he pretty much plain spoken, and that Queens come out of him too. You know what I mean? But yeah, fuck him. Fuck him. We gotta stop getting into this thing where we want to feel soft for everybody else, but don't want to feel soft for the whole people we got here. I see motherfucker, let me tell y'all something. Before I'm going on my way home to Connecticut, I gotta go through the hood, right? And I swear to God to her, I'm not lying to you, this is my mom. I swear to God to you, the amount of homeless Americans I see is ridiculous. I'm talking about even the way they sleeping, whether they sleeping on a bench, whether they, and a lot of these guys, a lot of them, I mean a lot of them are military men. A lot of them are military men, ex-military. And these guys, you know, I know a lot of them are on drugs and shit like that or whatever, but a lot of them are not. A lot of them just going through a hard time, you know? And so, yeah, I want to put emphasis on people here in America that's going through a hard time, not just people that's foreign going through a hard time. We're talking about, yo, America, we need a couple 100,000 for this month. I ain't with that shit. There's people Like I ain't trying to talk too lengthy about it, but there's people that I know in my state, in Connecticut, that literally haven't recouped at all from like all the shit that happened in the pandemic. And the pandemic was like damn near 5 years ago. But we got motherfuckers sitting in luxury hotels for months, for months, for months, you know? So when I hear people now want to take to the street and protest in LA, give me a second, guys. When I hear people who want to take to the streets and protest in LA, and I'm like, for fucking what? What are you protesting for? Huh? So what, they went and rounded up fucking 20 motherfuckers. What's their background? Everybody else got to go through it. What makes you special? And that's what I think it boils down to. A lot of motherfuckers want to view themselves as being special, and you're not special. You got to go through the same laws and regulations that we do. You understand what I'm saying? And unlike you, I'm not an immigrant. You know what I mean? And how can I say it? At least half of my culture is not an immigrant, but the other half that isn't an immigrant put in work in this country. So I think before you start putting that, what I mean by that, I mean the military, fire department, cops, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Put in some work before you start talking shit and demanding shit. Because other people before you have. Does that make sense? So like I said, I'm not trying to be a jerk or nothing like that or whatever. Trump, send them motherfuckers out there, round them up. Clean up the streets, Trump. Shit. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's just good goddamn police work. Sometimes it's just good goddamn police work. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go out there, clean the motherfuckers out. The motherfuckers over there throwing bricks off the fuck. They out there throwing pieces of rock off the bridges at the cops and shit for no other reason other than talking about, yo, I want to be. And I ain't about taking up for cops. This is a pretty simple fact. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. What the fuck you up here throwing rocks off the fucking bridge? And these motherfuckers, like, all these people got kids and shit like that too. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, you throwing a rock off a bridge and it busts through somebody's car or whatever at 40 miles per hour, knock them the fuck out. And you like, now you up for whatever charge you up for, you ain't never even taking consideration. Well, this man got a family too. You understand what I'm saying here? So, I don't like that sucker shit y'all doing out there in LA. A lot of y'all here in LA here from LA and New York for this Diddy trial, whatever. Talk to your peoples. Talk to your peoples. Say that, brother. I'm here for the Watts, California preach. What's going on, Watts? Yeah, man. I mean, like, what's it looking like out there, man? We got a couple little, outbursts up here. We had something go down at the courtroom yesterday. We had something go down today, a little bit down by 14th Street, I think it was, or something like that. So I'm just like, I'm just tapping in right now. I just got to New York a couple hours ago, whatever. But I'm just like, yo, shit is crazy. Like, we went from that to that. Now motherfuckers is fighting. Like, listen, man, if you've been here for 2 or 3 years, you can't establish why you here or whatever, go on the fuck home. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. If you've been here for 2 or 3 years, you've been staying in any of these luxury hotels in New York City, take your motherfucking ass home. Evidently, you ain't got a purpose that's righteous enough, or you, like, listen, I'll take into consideration where I live at. Out in Connecticut, where I live at, I don't ever talk about this too much, but I've talked about it before I even filmed it. We got motherfuckers that come over there because they're trying to escape from New Jersey and New York. They ain't got no room for them, so they coming over to where I live at in Greenwich. They coming over to Stanford. Many of y'all know it. They going out there to Bridgeport as well. And like the motherfuckers is sitting out there and they trying to scare people. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, they be like some tough ass homeless immigrants. And I'm like, nigga, I will beat the fuck out of you and tell the police why I beat the fuck out of you. I don't play that shit. Like, you're not gonna come into my fucking town and then try to punk me in my own fucking town, and I know the people in my town, we'll all jump your fucking ass. We'll beat the living fuck out of you. And so, like, I just, like, and I've noticed that with a lot of people in my town, because especially my town is like a lot of Italian people, and they're like even feeling kind of like the fuck the same way. They're like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And it's like, These guys that come, like, let me give you an example. We got the package store. The package store open, or y'all call it the liquor store. We call it the package store. The package store open like at 9 o'clock in the morning, right? There will be some motherfuckers at the package store at 8:30, and you'll pass them if you're going to get coffee, if you're going out to work in the morning or whatever. You will pass these motherfuckers at the package store, right? And they'll be there, and they'll be like waiting for the package store to open so they can get a bottle. Once they get a bottle, these motherfuckers hit the park, either one of our two parks, or hit the beach. The beach has started to become popular now because it's getting warm. And they will be there all day long getting drunk, right? I'm talking about fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And they got enough money to not buy like one bottle, but two bottles, but three bottles. Then the next thing you know, they buy an 18-pack. And I'm like, ain't these the same motherfuckers that were filing for asylum and talking about they were running? You came here to get drunk, bitch? You came to America to get drunk. And I'm not lying. When I covered this shit at the Row Hotel, that was the issue there. The motherfuckers were throwing out food, and they was getting drunk and high all day. They got so much that they started giving them motherfuckers a curfew. So I'm not making nothing up. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just talking about what was previously motherfucking reported. Damn, I'm working at the Plaza Hotel right now, around the corner. Salute. What's going on, Jay? He said I'm at the Plaza around the corner. That's what's up, baby. Yo, y'all make sure y'all hit up this Cash App, man. We need to get this in line, man. I saw that chick, what's her name? The surprise witness, that little country broad. I don't like her. I used to watch her, like, I'm gonna be honest. I used to watch her, and she's like many of these female vloggers right now that have this pro-sisterhood, anti-male rhetoric that's specifically surrounding the Diddy trial and not surrounding the Harvey Weinstein trial. That's why I brought up Harvey Weinstein. Fuck Harvey Weinstein. How about that? Fuck, from the bottom of my heart, tell Harvey Weinstein, kiss my whole family ass. Now, everybody's sitting and surrounded about what's going on with Puff or whatever the case may be, but what you need to open your eyes to, if Harvey Weinstein's on trial the same time the Puff is on trial, if anything is the better there, you will figure out that well, maybe this shit exists in them agencies. Maybe this lifestyle choice, which is mostly swinger lifestyle, and which I brought up before, I said, listen, if you take it back 15 years here in New York City, even currently, you got places in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, or whatever that are swingers clubs. And people pay money to be part of these swingers clubs. It is what it is. And they partake in whatever debauchery, I can't believe I said that, like debauchery, whatever debauchery they see fit. I mean, fucking, it is what it is, bro. We can't make this shit up, so, you know, I to each his own. As long as it's not illegal, and the only thing that seems illegal in Puff's case right now, thus far, and I've just been saying by prosecutors or whatever, that the prosecution has a weak case, and this has been said about former prosecutors now. It's not that I hope Puff gets off or whatever. I just hope Puff, if he does get off, he gets some help. Something's wrong with you, bro. You understand? Something's wrong with you. And you see, I'm out here wearing the emblem on my shoulder, man. I'm proud of the years that I worked at that company. But what I ain't proud of is I ain't proud of no motherfucker that's sitting up there kicking the shit out of chicks because they won't do what the fuck they want them to do. Or they taking too long to do what the fuck you want them to do. Or I don't like the fact, and I gotta bring that up again, you know, we was getting crumbs and victuals, and motherfucker, you were literally sending hundreds of thousands of dollars to fucking broads. For the times of Cleopatra, men have always been taken down by broads. Brutus took down, you know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, men have always been taken down by broads in one way or another. Diddy coming home. What's going on, African motherland? Free Diddy. All these fake sex allegations is extremely powerful, potent recipe to take our brother's life. Cassie wasn't forced to do anything. Diddy coming home. The innocent. Yeah, man, that's why I'm doing this piece up here, man, because, you know, they'd already been out there that You know what I'm saying? Trump had been asked a question whether or not he was going to give Puff a pardon or whatever, and he explained himself very correctly. I'll say like this to you, Trump. The way they presented you in the media is really what the problem was. They presented you like you was the next, the next illest thing that would happen to America. And so people really believed in Joe Biden because they were following off of what Barack Obama offered. And what a lot of people don't know, politically, you and Barack Obama wasn't really at odds like that. You understand what I'm saying? So you get a lot of people, you know the history of Joe Biden, you know what I'm saying? He goes all the way back to the 70s in the constituency of the White House. And at one time he's quoted as saying, and I paraphrase here, if my children go to school with black kids, it'll end up being a racial zoo. This is what the motherfucker said. I can't make it up. So just like I came up here on election day this year, and election year the time before that, and the voting day the time before that, when they elected Joe Biden, I was right up here in Trump Tower. And then this past year, I was right across the street here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, you call it what you want to call it. I'll just say this, Trump, if you get the opportunity or whatever, just put Puff's case under consideration. You understand what I'm saying? Look at the facts here. A lot of these girls are making up things. If you go and equate it to the sugar baby websites or seeking arrangements websites, which you'll quickly see as they duplicate each other. It's not as far as action, but as far as equation, as far as like what these women actually are. And what these women are with it, at one point, if you were a man and you had a woman taking care of you, a lot of people don't talk about that. During the 1800s and the 1700s, poor men used to seek out rich women to marry. Oh, it was a big thing. I'll give you an example. It got so deep in my state in Connecticut that Connecticut never even had a jail system until the operation of property ownership came into play. The property ownership came into play. The Gnostics decided that, what we need to do is we need to start creating we need to start creating a jail system, and that's exactly what they did. And they based this off of property, off of widows and things like that, because there were so many men that were literally actively seeking women that were widows or newly found widows to marry them so they could take ownership of their property, homes, whatever. What you said? That's what's up, man. You from CT? Where you from? Norwalk? Oh, all right. What's going on? You town folk there. What's going on? Town business. What's happening? You say from Norwalk. Yeah, you definitely from Fairfield County, man. Yeah, I'm down here, man. This is short hop and a jump for us. This is like, it takes some places in New York, it take me longer to get on the subway. I went to college here. The street that I'm on right now, many of y'all know I used to live on this block for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, my address was on this block. That's when I first started coming up. When I lived on this block, I first started coming up here to Trump Tower or whatever, doing my little lives or whatever. And at that time, I was on another app. And I'm gonna start ripping some of those and actually posting them up, so y'all can see I've always kept the same constitution when it comes to things like this. 30-minute drive, yeah, it literally is. It's 30 minutes, man. 35. It take me like 35 minutes to get to New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so short of a ride for me. I could leave Connecticut at 1:30 in the morning, and I could be in New York by 2, still catch 2 hours of the bar, come out of the bar, go get breakfast, and then hop right back on and go home. You know what I mean? So, yeah. No traffic. Yeah, ain't no traffic on the train. Or you driving down, it depends on what time you driving down. Like, I wouldn't drive my car into New York. Like, I think it's a mistake. You're going to end up getting it towed or something going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You're on the West Side Highway. They doing this new thing now. They putting this shit on the window. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't seen that? I would do a clip for that so y'all can see it. They got this thing. They used to put it on the tire. Now they put the shit on the window. So, like, you know what I mean? Hey, man, they got to make their money, It is what it is. Exactly. Guys, y'all walk with me. I'm going to walk off from here because I'm going to start walking to the train station or whatever. Thank you, guys. Let me tell these guys thank you real quick. Since y'all think everybody bad and everything like that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. I make sure I tell them thank you, whatever, because I know my voice carried a little bit. That's why I told them before I came up here I was doing or whatever. But most of the cops, they cool as fuck for me. I don't be on no bullshit. But Trump, I will say that though. Make sure you consider the fact of giving this guy, you know what I'm saying, a little pass by, whatever. Since the conversation is out there, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And for all you California bloggers that's here right now, I expect y'all motherfuckers to start talking about what's going on in your town. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to say this respectfully, but disrespectfully at the same time. Nah, I was playing. Yo, respectfully, I want to hear the positions of two people specifically. I want to hear Denat, because he live in LA, and I want to hear Amon Wiggins. I want to hear his position. I want to hear what these guys got to say, because I actually respect what some of the shit they got to say. So I want to hear those two bloggers right there specifically. I want to hear their take on what's going on right now in LA. And right now, it looks like they're tearing up the streets in LA, you heard? So that's what it is. What's going on? Y'all gonna show me some love tonight? Let me tell you something, right? So, what's that chick's name? The surprise witness? I give her, you know what? I give her this much. As a vlogger, because this is all we do, and this is how we make our money. As a vlogger, I will give her this. She's a great vlogger. I think what the problem is, we are grown men. I think what the problem is this. I think what the problem is she continuously has this, like, okay, let me break it down. So if you guys do or don't know, there's probably, like, down at that courthouse, since I've been covering this for the past 8 months, we are not the same, bud. Okay, we're not the same. For the past 8 months that I've been covering this shit, one of the things that I have to definitely put into play is that it's been this uprising of females, right? And this uprising of females financially supports each other. Dynamically, they support each other, just off the rare view that they're females. Doesn't have anything else to do with that other than they're just females. Which is odd to me, because I'm not supporting some guy just because he's a guy. I'm like, okay, he's a guy, so fuck what? I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? What does he do? You know what I mean? Does he feed kids or some shit like that? So we're supporting women based on the fact that they're just women. More importantly enough, and scary enough, not only are they supporting the women, but they're supporting the women naked. You understand what I'm saying? This nigga's trying to scare me, man. Yo, Sean, quit trying to scare me, man, if I push something in you, nigga. For real. I am not trying to pull out this motherfucking pistol. Leave me fuck alone. Alright? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm back. For real. Niggas trying to live, dog. That's all I'm trying to do, man. I ain't trying to do nothing to nobody or nothing. Feel me? Appreciate you. It's like I was saying, right? The fact is, a lot of these girls that came into play. What? Yo, y'all look at this nigga, man. This nigga about to lose his life out here. Y'all see this nigga, this your man's right here? Hey, yo, dude. Listen to me real quick. Your motherfucking life in danger right now, nigga. All right, now you get the point. Now you won't run. These niggas be thinking niggas playing with them, son. Hold on one second. Now he won't run. That's why I don't like coming down this motherfucker, son, because I be ready to blast one of these niggas, son, for real. Like, these niggas be playing too much. You saw that, right? I wasn't even fucking with this nigga, bro. Doing the hammer up if he want to run off. This nigga's crazy, son. Stop playing with me, nigga. Hey, for real. Let me take my ass home. I'm about to go home. Yeah, I'm about to go home, y'all. Yo, y'all have a good night, whatever. I'm going to talk to y'all in a minute.